The concept of governance is essential for extractives because it speaks directly to how public and private institutions that operate in the natural resource space are managed and controlled. It speaks directly to the types of laws, the principles, and the processes by which those responsible for the development of the resources and the regulation of those who develop the resources are controlled and managed. It also speaks to how both the governments and the project developers account to the larger public. Governance essentially is premised on three principles. One, transparency. Secondly, public participation. And three, accountability. Each one of those needs to be disaggregated and nuanced to give them the true meaning of the intent with respect to governance. Let's start with transparency. Transparency speaks to the importance of companies and governments sharing information with the public, who are the true owners of the resources. Sharing information alone is not enough. It's important that the information is properly packaged to have meaning and to speak to the needs of those who receive the information. Information must also be timelessly. Information delivered late is no use. For that matter, information is not data, information is not statistics. It is the use of raw data to provide messages that speak to specific needs. If we look then at the notion of accountability, accountability stems from the overall concept of fiduciary responsibility, which means that a person acts on behalf of another and makes decisions to benefit the person on behalf of whom they are acting. It assumes that those who are trusted to act on behalf of others have the privilege of two things. One, knowledge that is superior to those they represent, and two, access to resources and information and knowledge, and that they put this together to benefit the people whom they represent. In the absence of this, then people in position of accountability, in position of authority, are not governing in accordance with the principles of good governance. The third notion of public participation assumes that the people impacted, represented, or who have a vested interest in extractives are given a voice in the way that the laws are formulated, a voice in the way that the laws are implemented, a voice in the way, for instance, that revenue from extractive is used. In the absence of this collective, then governance is compromised. And yet, because of the notion of one, sustainable development, intergenerational value, and responsible stewardship, it is essential that to govern, these principles are placed at the core of how we develop natural resources. In the absence of transparency and our ability to scrutinize and look not just at the outcomes, but the processes and the motivations, then the science, the politics, and the economics of climate change, the process by which we get to where we do may prove not only ill-informed, but for that matter, it may prove to serve other interests, and climate change is basically just the brand.